All right, welcome to another episode of Shenanigans with Sharita. I am your host, Sharita, Sharita. For those of you that spell it, because someone recently spelled it wrong. I don't know, it's not that hard. Phonics, hooked on phonics, works for everybody. Sharita. Want to say thank you as always to our supporters, a continued support, and we have some new followers coming through, so thank you and welcome to Shenanigans, where it's mostly chismosos talking shit about the comedy scene, behind the scenes of how you survive, right? Or just being an all-around entertainer. And just to recap, last episode, we talked about going to South Padre Island. We went to La Feria, Texas. We went to Harlingen, Texas, did shows out there. This weekend, we did shows right here in El Paso. So shout out to Gus Buzz and the Chuco Town Comedy. I did a show with Haley Hackett. She is LA-based. Comedian, and she's doing a comedy tour run where she's working on her one-woman comedy show. And she's only been in 5 years. She's been doing comedy 5 years, so we want to wish her well. So we shared the stage with her Friday night at Kafa. Shout out to Kafa, the coffee shop that we do shows at. And Saturday, we want to say thank you to everybody that participated and came out to see us at Skyline Event Center, where we did another Chuco Town All-Star Comedy Fest. And I was one of the headliners, and it was amazing. We got some people that were just like very surprised that a lady can talk like that. And I told them, I said, you know what? There's just sometimes I'm not a lady. Sometimes I want to let you men know how to lick it properly. Yep, that's what we talked about. We talk about a lot of things, right? So, like I said, going to the chismosos, we're just going to jump into it before I talk about the real stuff. So, because my 10-minute spiel when I talk shit. The only hiccup I had with that show is we had a speed round. It was like an hour that lasted. It was to introduce all the brand new comedians that were starting out. Whether you had 1 day in or 1 year in of comedy, you got to do a blitz round, 1 minute. Everybody went up there, did their thing, and unfortunately, you still have people, when you're on a paid show, even if you're not getting paid, people, patrons, audience members have paid to come see you. And I know I harp on this a lot because I think we have to drill it into the head, because it's also on Facebook, a lot of the comedy groups I'm in, we all say the same thing. You should never have notes, your phone with notes. The only time your phone should be on stage with you is if you are recording your set, so that you could play it back. If you send it to bookers, you send your polished sets to bookers. They don't want to edit it, so you don't have to do nothing fancy with it. But let's say you want to put your set on social media. You do your clips. YouTube lets you do your 20-second shorts, things like that, right? So, yeah, you're supposed to record your set. But other than that, we are not doing Shakespeare. You do not have to have your notebook, your notepad, your iPad, your telephone, your mom sitting in the background with cue cards. Comedy is from your mind. It's authentic. It's you acting out whatever you're trying to entertain the audience. Whatever your topic is, which we call a premise. Whatever your premise is. A lot of you know from me, I talk about dating as an older woman. I'm in my late 40s and I haven't figured it out yet. Okay? I'm a divorcee, and I didn't know that divorcee was a fancy word for saying like you just got left. You know? A fancy way of saying dumped. So yeah, I talk about a lot of different things. And the more you get up on stage and practice, that's what the open mics are for. So let's talk about that, because last time we talked about it, and it was just touched briefly, that open mics are practice gyms for comedians. And some people say, well, I'm too good. I don't need to go to open mic. I go up there and I riff and I do crowd work and I'm awesome. No, you are not. You need to go to open mics, because what does an open mic teach you? First, teaches you how to enter a stage. Are you coming up to the stage on the left, the right, straight up the middle? Because I've seen people trip and fall, and that's not part of their set. It's really embarrassing when you fall, and now you don't know what you're gonna do, right? Because everybody's looking. That's one thing. Microphone. There's a microphone stand. Sometimes for some reason there is not a microphone stand and you're passing the microphone like a blunt. Okay, fine. Does the microphone have a cord? Because if it does, why are you wrapping it around your neck? Why are you playing with the cord? Leave it alone. Now, I do the shibari joke where I do tie myself up with the cord. It's part of the act. That's what you can do. You know, as some people say, well, that's prop comedy. You shouldn't do prop comedy. Well, it works. Always do what works, with the exception of the nose, right? Or if it's a wireless mic, we have to improvise because sometimes wireless mics go out while we are performing. And really, the microphone is just supposed to enhance your voice. And that's when you turn into an improv comic and you might have to scream at the audience for a little bit until the microphone works. We've had comics freeze up and just stand there because the microphone went out. And your time is still being counted against you. So if you still have that 5-minute or 10-minute spot and the microphone goes out, improvise, do something. You know, you don't have to do the Macarena on stage, but do something. Then just stand there and freeze up. And then we talk, you know, the production team, we'll talk to them after the show, like, dude, what was that? You know? So that's that. Also with stage presence, how you stand on stage, where you stand on stage, what is your body doing while you're on stage? Are you dressed presentable, right? Ladies, you want to wear the mini skirts? Okay. But remember, some stages are elevated where people are looking up. So you showing your thighs and you're showing the surprise, that's on you, okay? We try to foster an environment where it's free of sexual harassment, right? So you have to understand if you don't want to be sexually harassed, don't sexually harass your crowd because some people do not pay to see how low it hangs. It's just the God honest truth. Just like when we tell men when they get on stage not to wear shorts. And guys are like, no, but I'm comfortable. Understand that. However, when you are on stage and the stage is elevated, your balls is drooping down, we can see that. So what do you want the audience to focus on? Your comedy or your ball sack? Just things to think about. Because a lot of people don't realize what they wear on stage has an impact on how they do or if they get booked again. Because each booker, each comedy club, they're going to have their own rules, what you can say, what you cannot say, what you can wear, what they prefer you not to wear, out of respect of the patrons. Again, audience members are paying good money to come enjoy themselves, have a good time, and not be flashed. That's all. That's all. You know? Move the microphone out of the way. We always talk about that. The microphone is not your best friend. You're leaning on it for whatever reason. Like, the microphone's not going to hold you up. I've seen so many microphone stands being broke on stage because people are leaning on it. And it's a nervous twitch. You're nervous. You don't know how your set's going to go. Or you really think you're really cool hanging on to the microphone. Like, no, get off the microphone. The stool or the chair, it's there for your beverage. It's there for your phone if you're going to record your set. I get it. There's people who have bad bodies, so they need to sit down during their set. But if you are able-bodied comedian, stand up. Because the people in the back can't see you when you're sitting down. And especially me, I'm 5'3", so I know if I sit down, nobody's going to see me, okay? The people in the front will barely be able to see me. So that just goes into lazyism. Don't be lazy. Ha, I made up a word, lazyism. Laziness, lazyism, ha. Either way. But that's what you have to think about, right? So your stage presence, your appearance, what you want to wear. And also at the open mics, you want to practice eye contact. We have a lot of comics that'll get on stage and you're supposed to scan the crowd, not stare down the first person you see. That is awkward, okay? Because you're staring this person down. This person's paying attention to you, enjoying the show. Then you guys lock eyes forever. You have just common law married somebody by accident. Why are you staring that person down? Now the person's awkward because it's like, all right, I want to laugh at your jokes, but you're staring me down really hard. I feel like a deer in headlights. I suddenly have to go to the bathroom, but I don't want to get up because guess what? If I get up, you're going to cause more attention to me than I want. So don't stare down the one person. You're supposed to scan the room address the audience. There's enough people, hopefully, there's enough people in the audience that you can interact with, right? And if you're a comic under like a year, why are you doing crowd work? Where's your jokes? Where's your material? That's what you want to focus on when you're starting out, because you automatically go into crowd work shows that you have nothing. You're just on stage galloping through time and ruining people's experiences, because we've had shows to where 5 comics will pick on the same couple. Who's married? And we already said that. Who has kids? We already acknowledged that. Who's here on a date? We already acknowledged that. Who's having a good time? Not anymore. You keep asking me that. It's not a Q&A. It's not a job interview. All right? So and then that means you're not paying attention. Because if you're on a show, you should be sitting and enjoying the show, and learning, taking notes, watching other comedians, right? Or just plain supporting. And we don't have enough of that. We have comics that'll sit and wait for their turn outside. And we talked about that before, right? You're outside, you're smoking, you're getting high, you're getting like, oh, I'm just getting myself psyched up. I'm getting myself ready. I'm trying to get in the zone. But what better way to get in the zone but in the room, listening to the jokes flow and hyping yourself up that way. It's like, yeah, I didn't like that joke. I got a better joke. I'm going to tell it on stage. And you're more than welcome to do that, right? Hype it up. But don't heckle. Like, I know I'm notorious for that. Like, there's some shows that I'm in the back saying something because I'm watching you die on stage. And you need help. You do need help. So I'll throw out a zinger right there. I'll throw out a tag to help the show go along, get the laughs. You might not like it, but again, if you record your set and you watch it and you see yourself up there, you're gonna thank me, right? You know, and I don't have the know-alls. I don't have the know-alls. Yeah, I've only been doing this for 8 years. Okay, so I'm still learning the ropes as we go. But from what I've seen, it's real disheartening to see all the comics get up and walk out, because you have to remember when the crowd, the audience members that have paid to come see the show, they're sitting there and a whole group of people get up, and depending on what part of the show they come in, they don't know if these are comedians. They don't know who these people are. They just see a group of people stand up and walk out. So now it looks like you walked a room. And now you make it hard for the comedians behind you that are still having to perform. And that happened on Saturday. You know, I'm just like, why would you guys come to the show, only wait your turn, and then leave? You didn't watch anybody else. You didn't support anybody else. And then the VIP section saw all the comics leave, so they got up and left. So who are we performing for if the VIP section left? That's crazy. Now, granted, you're like, well, they already paid for the tickets. That's beside the point. Nobody wants to perform for ghosts, spirits, empty chairs, the janitor, the bartenders, the people that work at the venue, okay? We want to perform in front of a crowd. That's the bread and butter of it. It's the people in the crowd. They're going to be on their phones. They're going to be recording your sets, taking pictures. What does that do? That's free advertisement for you. Right? Because they're going to share it on social medias, their Facebook, their Instagram, their Snapchat, whatever favorite joke of the night that they heard, they're going to want to share that experience. And guess what they're also sharing? Hey, this comic is performing in front of an empty room. There's nobody here. They're sharing that. They're showing people, you know, there's nobody there. And then meanwhile, you're going on your social media and you're like, I killed in this room. We had a great show. I murdered the crowd. There was no crowd, dear. There was nobody there. So stop. Sit down, enjoy the show. And I get it. Like, okay, so producers, hint, 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 stop double booking. Because what it is like a comic told me last night. He came by and he was like, hey, I'm sorry I missed your set last night. I really wanted to watch it, but I went to a paid gig. Like, I was on this show and I didn't get paid, but I was offered a paid spot at another show that seemingly started at the same time your show was going on. Why double book? Okay, because we don't have that many comics as it is. So the comics come to a show You're expecting them to stay, but they're like, no, I'm going to this open mic over here. And I'm just like, the timing is off. Now, granted, if the show runs over, because we were told the show was going to be like an hour and a half, the show ended up being a full 3 hours of it was a lot. It was a lot of comics. It was like, again, production teams have to get better at reeling in the time. And also, too, audience members lose their attention span really fast, right? They're going to lose they're sitting there, and then depending on the strength of the comic, you have comics that are really, really quick with it, really funny. The clapbacks are coming, the laughs per minute are hitting. And then you have some comics where it takes them a while to get their feet wet. It takes them a while to get to that punchline. It takes them a while to build up the crowd to like them. It takes them a while to be funny, right? And we professionally call it bombing. You're bombing. Nobody's laughing. It's uncomfortable. You're asking Q&As. You're asking interview questions. It's cringy. And people feel bad for you. But they can't move because they want to see the rest of the show. So pick up the pace. Write some more. Because there's comics out there that say, oh, I don't write. I just show up and whatever happens, happens. You've been doing this for 6 months. I know what's going to happen. Disaster. Pure disaster. Point blank, period. Right? And then also open mics. So after you work on your stage presence, you work on your delivery, your taglines. Is this joke going to work? Is this joke relatable? A lot of jokes are centered around the area you live in. So what does that mean? It means if you're an El Paso-based comedian, you know the El Paso like the back of your hand, what works here. Talk about the border, talk about being Mexican, talk about menudo, whatever. But the problem is you take these same jokes and then you go out of El Paso. They're not always going to work. You need to be able to replace El Paso with Missouri, with New York, with South Carolina. Whatever city you're going to, you have to make that joke relevant for the place that you are at. Okay? I think the only joke that blows over is construction. But after a while, does everybody care about talking about construction? Everybody knows that the roads are closed. They got to find an alternate route. They got to do a detour. Then sometimes you're just so sick of it, you don't want to leave your house, right? So what is it about traffic that is just so dang funny? So good luck with that. It's really hard. And I get it. Joke writing is hard because sometimes I've had comics come up to me talking about they're in a writer's block. They want to do workshops. But when they do the workshops, it's a smoke session. It's a drinking session. It's everything but working material. It's everything but a writing session. And that's disheartening because it's a missed opportunity to work. It's a missed opportunity to have somebody go over a joke with you and let you know, oh, that joke would hit if you take this word out and put this word in, or the joke would be funnier if you act it out. Like, yeah, we hear you telling it, but you're just standing on stage. So if you be more animated, use your arms, do the karate kick, whatever your joke is, act it out. And that's the whole thing about a workshop. And it seems like comics don't want to do the workshop because they're like, no, you're just going to steal my joke. You're going to steal my premise. You're going to steal my idea. No, if you already have your voice, if you already found your voice on stage, no one can steal your joke. No one can steal your premise. Now the great thing about comedy is everybody is like having a conversation. Oh, I was talking about that yesterday. I was talking about this subject yesterday. And then you hear somebody else talk about it. We're all going to talk about the same thing, but it's how you present it on stage. What makes it relevant to you? Like, how did it affect you to the point where it's so funny that everyone else gets to laugh about it? Like, yeah, we all go to the dentist for different reasons, different dental treatments, cosmetology reasons, Like, I'm wearing braces now. I don't like talking with the rubber bands because the rubber bands pop in my mouth and it just looks like I swallowed cum really bad. Things like that. Make it funny. You went to the dentist. That's great. He gave you a shot of Novocaine. And you were drooling. It happens, So it's the delivery. What makes it funny for you that you want to tell it on stage, you know? And I'm just throwing out examples because I'm not doing a workshop for myself. It's weird. But yeah, I too suffer from writer's block. There's times where I'm writing out a joke. I'm trying to think of, well, yeah, what's funny? Or what words do I need to take out if it's too wordy, if it's just deadpan boring. And it's okay to come back. It's okay to write something out. You got a paragraph of joke material. It's not hitting right now. You're not feeling it right now. It's okay to put it away and come back to it later. Okay, we can do that. And again, we practice at the open mics to see what works. What will the audience laugh at? And comics stop performing for other comedians. It doesn't work that way for you. Your goal is to make the patrons, the audience members laugh. And again, those are the ones that are going to share on their social medias. Those are the ones that are friends with owners of clubs. They're friends with bookers. They're friends with producers. And by word of mouth, they'll be like, hey, you need to bring this person in because they're hilarious. They made me laugh. They were entertaining. I love their delivery. I love their style. Book them, right? Word of mouth, networking gets you the bookings. Performing for your friends. And the hard part about comedy is sometimes you don't have friends. You know, you're in the room or you're at the venue, you're on stage and you're expecting your buddies to be back there egging you on, cheering you on, and they're not there. They're outside. They're not there. They're smoking. You know, they're not there. Or they're there and they're not laughing on purpose. Or they're just purposely scowling. They're purposely trying to throw you off your game because you had a phenomenal set and theirs was lacking. So you're going to have a hint of friendly competition. We'll call it that. Because I don't want to use words like jealousy and envy and haters. Because we're all coworkers. At the end of the day, we're all coworkers. And what sets you apart is how much work you put into working your craft. Okay, so that's one thing. And well, there's many things, which, you know, but basically that's what the open mic is. You work your craft, you work your material, and also just because you have, let's say you sign up at the open mic and they tell you have 5 minutes, that means you don't have to fill up that whole 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to work on that joke, practice your stage presence, practice if you want to practice crowd work because you feel like the improvisation is there. Practice. You have 5 minutes, right? And I've seen comics talk about 17 things in 5 minutes and not get any laughs. You're just bouncing off the walls. There's no flow. There's no ebb and flow. There's no, what's the point of this? Like, there's no punchlines. And that's the worst thing you could do is just stand up there and talk about 17 different topics. I get it if you are autistic, have Asperger's, whatever mental illness you want to say that you have, but focus on one topic, work on that topic before you work on the next, okay? 5 minutes, 2 jokes, max, okay? Or one really good joke. And I get it. Some people don't want to be storytellers because they feel like you got to be a storyteller to get the 5 minutes. And it's not really that. It's just all in your delivery. All right. Because your first 15 seconds, that's what you're aiming for to get the first laughs. Because when the laughs per minute come, the more laughs you have, the more you're getting the crowd on your side, the more bookings you will get. So aim for that 15 seconds. That first 15 to 30 seconds, you want that laugh in. And you're wasting time when the host is already going to say, welcome to the stage. We're going to put your hands together for Sharita. And then you come up on stage, hi, I'm Sharita. Are you serious? The host just gave you an awesome introduction. And now you're reintroducing yourself. Now you're eating up your time. Get to the jokes, okay? And that's what you practice at the open mic. We call it opening joke, and we call it closing joke. Some of us have awesome closers, and sometimes you don't have a closer, but you just be like, you know what? If you have merch, hey, I'm selling merch at the back. I got some T-shirts. Would love it if you have support your homie so I can drive home or whatever. You know, whatever quick witted thing you want to say as your closer. But your opener should not be, yeah, I'm Sharita. No, the host already introduced you. They already said where you're from, Brooklyn, New York, El Paso, Texas, Rhode Island, wherever. They've already let the crowd know where you're from. Now the crowd is like, all right, you from here? Hit me with your joke. Hit me with your best 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever time it is, okay? And then start learning to time yourselves, because we rely too much on the host or someone in the back timing us. And you got to remember, in real life, they get distracted. So you might get called off the stage earlier than you were supposed to, or you might run the light. We all know that it's taboo to run the light. You don't want to run the light. So if you have 5 minutes, don't do 8, all right? That's a big no-no. Big no-no. Headliners don't like it. Now, with an exception is if you up there and you're killing, and I mean, the people's sides is hurting, their cheeks is sore, they are laughing, they're crying, they're wiping their tears, their knee slapping, and you're just killing, and you get the green light to go ahead, that's understandable. Okay, that's understandable. That's riding the wave that the next comic is going to come after you and use that energy that you put out there. And pat yourself on the back, because, yes, to get the crowd is like stay hyped, stay laughing. That's what you want. That's what we need. So do that. But good rule of thumb is do not run the light. And this is all the stuff that you learn at the open mics, okay? So focus on that. Focus on getting to the point, to the punchline faster. All right, stop introducing yourself. And then again, the crowd work. Oh, yeah, like, you know, who's married? Who's divorced? Who's got kids? Yeah. We're past the Q&A session. We're past the interview portion of the show. Get to your jokes, all right? And another big thing that I see comics do, they'll go after another comic and then they'll use their joke. If it works, it works, but it's really hard to make that work because you're showing that you have no originality. You don't want to be the copycat comic. You don't want to steal somebody's style. Just because it worked for them does not mean it's going to work for you. You got booked for this show based off your talents. So do that. What is it about you that can grasp the attention of the crowd? Okay? So that way, once you're booked, you have your stage presence down. You have your jokes down. You have your style down. You know what not to do, where to stand, how to interact with the crowd, okay? And that's what makes the show good. But guess what? If you sit and watch and support shows and watch other comedians do it that have a little bit more time in you, well, a lot of bit time in you, then you watch. And that's how you get your mentorship in. So yeah, that's what I have on that. At least that's what I think. And of course, hit me up in the comments. What do you think open mic should be? Or did you know that open mics was the gym, the practice ground for the big hitters, right? And then comics, those of you who are saying, well, how come I'm not getting booked? I'm going to all these open mics, but I'm not getting booked. You don't have a tight 5. You don't have a tight 10. You don't have the time to last on a booked show. Because again, bookers, promoters, club owners are paying you a set price to entertain. If you can't fill a time, you're cheating them out of their money. Why should they pay you? If I book you for 5 and you're up there for 2 because you ran off the stage, you got nervous, you got scared, you got heckled, I'm not paying for that. They're not going to pay you. And then you can't dispute after the show, well, you didn't pay me what you told me you were going to pay me. Well, you didn't do your time. Right? So, and it's risky putting you up there. So stop lying, because a lot of y'all lie. Oh, I could do 20 minutes in your mind. Okay? Because shout out to the people that do put you on the show because they're desperate or they really like you. Sometimes the likability factor outweighs the common sense factor. So they'll put you on that show expecting you to do that time and you don't go near it. Okay? That's a risk. Because again, if the show is booked for 8 to 10, a 2-hour spot, everybody has to do that time to fill that spot, okay? So don't lie. If you don't have the 20 minutes. If you don't have the 5 minutes, be honest. But like, hey, I got a strong 2 and a possible, and go from there. Honesty gets you booked farther, because that way they could put another comic to make the 5 minutes. So that's why sometimes you go to a show, they have 2 guest spots, or they'll have an opener and a guest spot, because you were honest. But like, hey, I don't have all the time, but I really want to be on the show. All right, cool. We'll give you a shot. But yeah, don't lie about the time. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. And that's where the open mics come in. Practice getting to the tight 5. And that's without crowd work, okay? 5 minutes of jokes, 5 minutes of material, and you work it at the open mic. So that way, when you are booked for that show, you're doing that 5-minute guest spot, you're doing a 5-minute or 5 to 8 guest spot, opener spot. You have the time. That's why you're not getting booked. You're not marketable yet. You're not reliable yet. Keywords yet. It will come. Okay. And then, some people are like, screw you. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I'll see you at your next show. That's it. But enough about that. Let's talk about, I started something new. And I'm pretty sure y'all heard about it. Joe Rogan made it famous, I guess. But I started the carnivore diet because I keep seeing people post about it, celebrities and us common folk alike. They're talking about this new, well, I don't know if it's new. I don't know how long it's been around. One person said they've been on it for like 5 years. I was like, what? So yeah, the carnivore diet, you just eat meat. I've already liked eating meat, it's great. We all eat meat, different forms of meat. But the difference with the carnivore diet is you're not supposed to eat carbs. So no rice, no pasta. Some people say no fruits and vegetables. It has to be all meat. So your bison, your elk, your steak, your ribeyes, your New York strips, sausage. I'm not sure. I'll eat sausage because I like sausage with sauerkraut. That's just me. But and then your fish, your seafood. You can still eat seafood. So I don't know if crab legs fit in there, but I love shrimp, salmon fillets, cod. We'll try it. But the funny thing is, they said that it's expensive. And I'm just like, well, life is expensive at this point. So if you're going grocery shopping and you can only afford $20 worth of groceries, I don't know how you're going to do the carnivore diet, because just one pack of steaks was $25. And that was on sale. So I don't know how long I'm going to be on the carnivore diet. Like I said, this is day 2. Yesterday for breakfast, I made 3 scrambled eggs with chorizo and some onions, and I thought that was good enough. But then I was hungry all day. And then think about the carnivore diet. The rule is you eat until you're full, and that's scary. That's scary because I'm like, do I eat all in one meal until I'm full, or do I spread it out? Because if you ever done intermittent fasting, which I'm a fan of intermittent fasting, you do the 16-8, which is you fast for 16 hours of the day and you eat for 8. You get all your meals in at 8, right? And depending on your fitness level is the way to go. So if you're sedentary, you don't work out, you don't walk, you don't do anything, intermittent fasting is not going to help. And I'm not sure how the carnivore diet is going to help you either. But again, I'm still doing the research on it. But I just like the idea is like I can eat what I want and cool. Because for some reason I was craving chicken wings. I love chicken, so I like rotisserie chicken. And they're like, no, you gotta eat you can't eat the skin. I'm like, that's the best part. That's where all the flavor is. If you cook with seasoning, all the flavor's in the skin. So I'm not telling you that I'm cheating, but I'm eating the skin, okay? Besides, I don't want to waste the chicken. It came with it. So I'm eating the skin. I'm eating the rotisserie chickens. I went to Wingstop and ordered the 10-wing combo. I've never eaten 10 wings in my life. That's a lot. But then when I got off work after the bar, I don't care if you judge me, I left the wings in the car, right? So it was perfect temperature. I ate them. I didn't get sick. I ate them. I had like 4 wings left. It was a great snack when you get off work, And then this morning I got off work and I went to Denny's. I had the sirloin steak and eggs, right? Because you can still eat eggs. You have to eat like eggs on this diet. So it was steak and eggs. And I'm going to tell you now, it came with hash browns. I ate the hash browns. because I'm not going to waste food. I know you could have been like, well, you could have omitted the hash browns and just ate eggs. I have a secret. I don't like eggs that much. I've been eating eggs for years, okay? Every PT test I've ever taken in the Army, boil some eggs, boil some pasta, especially when you have to go on them 8-mile runs. I don't know where we're going for 8 miles, but we was running, okay? We were running. So let me know in the comments, are you doing the carnivore diet? What's your favorite meat to eat? What's your tips and tricks? They say that we're only supposed to use salt to season it. If you can tell, I grew up with seasoning, so I'm putting the garlic powder on. I'm putting the onions in there. I gotta season the meat. I can't just like eat it like that. I can't do it. It's bland. No. Denny's, shout out to Denny's, because I don't think they seasoned the steak, but I was hungry. It was delicious. And what can you drink on a carnivore diet? Water. They want you to drink water. And then they said that you have to have electrolytes. So people are putting pinches of salt in their water. That sounds bad. But you can't have alcohol anymore. I don't have a love-hate relationship with alcohol yet, because I really don't drink heavy. I stopped drinking about maybe 10 years ago, like heavy drinking, like binge drinking. Once in a while, I'll have a shot. I'm a rum chata girl. Yes, it's delicious. Don't judge me. Okay? I can't do the hornitos. I can't do the tequila straight, okay? And I'm allergic to lime, so I couldn't do it anyway if I wanted to. But a rum chata, I'll down some rum chata. No, I don't like the cinnamon toast crunch. Do not fireball my rum chata. That tastes so bad to me. I don't know who came up with that. Don't do that. Fireball, it's just cinnamon, hot ass cinnamon. Like, how could you drink that? And then there's a new shot called, well, it's new to me. It's called Fire and Ice. It's Rumple Mints with cinnamon, with the Fireball. Like, what are you doing to yourself? Like, do you want your tongue to be numb for no reason? Like, what are you doing? Rumple Mints by itself, you're mixing mouthwash with cinnamon. I'm curious who came up with that. I'm going to research that. We're going to have a talk about different alcoholic beverages and who came up with the concoctions, the mixology of cinnamon in anything. And before you call me a wuss, I grew up back in the day on Goldschlager, okay? And when you drink too much of that and you throwing up gold, you were 24 carats for the night, and then you throwing up 24 carats the rest of the night. It was bad. It was a time. So Goldschlager crawled so Fireball can run rapid through the esophagus. Yes, not doing that anymore. So that's what we're doing. We're talking about the carnivore diet. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite meat go-to? Like I said, mine's is chicken wings right now. Naked, fried, yes. And then I'll have the sauce on the side. And I think that's as healthy as I'm gonna get. Where are my blue cheese warriors? Somebody said blue cheese should never have been invented. I love the aftertaste of the blue cheese, if that makes sense. It's an acquired taste. Yes, we know blue cheese is mold. But if you've been poor, you've been humbled on a lot of things. So there's a lot of mold we eat. There's cheeses we can't pronounce, like Gruyere and Brie and stuff. That the cheese is like, why did y'all come up with this spelling? I like cheese. I don't know if we can still have charcuterie boards on the carnivore diet, but oh no, you can't, because you cannot have deli meats. Did you know that? There's no deli meats, so no salamis, hams, prosciutto. Man, I don't know if I want to do this anymore now that I think about it. I love charcuterie boards. They're just adult versions of Lunchables. So remember, Lunchables comes in a little package, and you have your crackers, your meat, and your cheeses, and a little snack, like the little Nestle Crunch. Those are so good. So good. But the adult charcuterie board, you have your meats, your cheeses, your crackers, and then you have like grapes and strawberries, and it's fancied out. You have jellies and jams, and the shit costs about like $50. I'm like, dang, that's an expensive Lunchable. But you get to have it with wine or mimosas or whatever your beverage of choice is. Yeah, I'm going to miss a lot of that. And then those that have been on a carnivore diet said they lost anywhere from 12 to 50 pounds. So I haven't stepped on the scale yet. The last time I stepped on the scale, I weighed 147. So I'm not going to torture myself. I'm going to step on the scale once a week. Because if I step on the scale every day and I don't see like results, I'm going to quit faster. And I don't want to do that. Okay? I don't want to do that. So you're going to go on this journey with me on this carnivore diet and see how long I last. Which sucks because Wednesday night I will be at the El Paso County Coliseum. Motionless in White is coming to town, one of my favorite bands. And the Coliseum only serves alcohol. Well, they only serve beer. So I think I'll be okay because I don't drink beer. So I'll be there sober, trying to rock out. We could do that, right, El Paso? Rock out and be sober? I challenge you to be sober. Do one entertainment thing sober and let me know how that goes, okay? You're all like, no, we're not doing that. That's funny. That's funny. So, yes, it's the end of April 29th. May's coming. Everybody's going to be like walking around Star Wars tribute May 4th. May the 4th be with you. I grew up with Star Wars. I was born the same year as Star Wars debuted. The original one. Mark Hamill, C-3PO, Carrie Fisher, R.I.P. So, yes, I know a lot of people are going to walk around in their Star Wars getup. I don't dress up as Star Wars. I like them. My Mustang has C-3PO hanging from the rearview mirror. That's my contribution to society. Any shows coming up in May? No. I might just take May off from traveling because I spent a good grip driving out to the island. But good news is I'm welcome back. So working on that. So if I do any shows for the month of May, it'll be here in El Paso. So I'll be doing some local shows. And like I said, June I got booked. I'll be at Inn and Mountain Gods, Club 49. And then I'll be at the Sky Casino. Yes. It's somewhere in Albuquerque. I think it's in Albuquerque. I know it's in New Mexico. I've never been. So I got to save up my chips so I can go gamble. Okay? So if I win big jackpots, there will be signs. Like I'll be able to afford all the meats in the carnivore diet. Okay? And we'll have a carnivore meat party. But yes. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you tuning in right now, it is called Shenanigans with Sharita. That's me, Sharita, your host. Loving it. So continue to subscribe, hit the like button, share. So far we got 5 stars. I don't know if I should tell you that because I don't want you to to go on there and give me 1-star reviews. But if you do, you're a hoe. Yes. So come out to the show, support. We still have merch for sale. It's mainly t-shirts, but we're gonna ante up the merch eventually. And we're gonna get bar keys. We're gonna get more koozies. The koozies that I have now, I'm almost sold out. I sold out of all my bar keys, so that's great. So the bar keys are gone. So we're gonna get more bar keys with the new logo because we know those of you who like to drink alcohol, pop a bottle open or pop a can open with a Shenanigans bar key. All right. So I love you guys. Stay safe. Till next time.